For those of you who don't know, I'm Maggie, and today I wanted to take you through all of the changes that we've been making to our living room. Now, we moved into this house back in May, and over the summer I did do like an Amazon home favorites video where I kind of took you around this room. So some of this may look familiar, but we've made some slight improvements, just added a little bit more interest to the space, done a couple of DIY projects that I want to talk you through, just kind of show you how the space is coming together. So first things first, we're going to start back behind me over near a window. So the first thing that you see when you walk into our house is what's sitting behind me. So when we were viewing the house and walking through, they had the whole thing styled really well, and they had a bench under this window much like we have now, but it was kind of like different textures and fabric and stuff, and we just hadn't found the one that fit our space the best until we took a little trip to Austin for my birthday weekend rather recently and stopped in Waco, and they had this really cute store called The Findery, which I don't even know if it was part of Joanna Gaines's like empire that she has down there, but it is situated right near the silos. And they had this bench and we loved it. So ended up picking that up as our little souvenir, and we liked that it kind of had this nice little textured top. I have a leather chair over in my little office area that's also in the living room, and we have these little leather tipped pillows that it kind of accents throughout the room. So it all kind of just came together. It was tailor-made for our space. Now, the next improvement that I want to make to these back windows that you'll see is to add some woven Roman shades right there. So the plan is to get rid of these white blinds just in the back of the house to add a little more depth and dimension and texture to the space, but that'll come in a later video, I suppose. I do want to move you closer though, because we have made a little bit of a window improvement since we last talked. Another big upgrade that we made was getting rid of our track blinds. The track blinds originally ran over the sliding glass door, and it was just a really inexpensive addition for the people who flipped our house originally. For us, it just looked a little dinky. They were kind of like the plastic track blinds that made a lot of noise, so we knew that we wanted to kind of elevate the space by getting rid of the track blinds and replacing it with curtains, and it really has made this entire room just look a little bit more cohesive and a little bit more grand, if you will. So we're really excited with the way that it all looks uniform along the back wall of our living room. It really highlights the symmetry that we have going on back here, but it also kind of led us to an additional improvement that I want to share with you up close. So the last time you saw these curtains, these were light filtering curtains, and I featured them in my favorite home products from Amazon video, and we still love these. These actually are still the same curtains, but as time went on, we realized that we still get a ton of natural light in the house without needing the curtains to do that for us, if you know what I mean. So originally we thought light filtering, it's gonna keep a lot of the natural light, but what we realized is because of the back windows lining the back wall of our house, it kind of was putting reflections on our TV, and also in the winter time, because we had these super ancient windows, the light filtering curtains didn't do much in the way of like helping with the weather. Originally the plan was for me to go buy fabric and just sew it on to the back of these kind of sheer light filtering curtains. They didn't have what I needed at the store, and so I got on Amazon to see if they made any like pre-made blackout curtain liners, and sure enough they did. So I ended up going with these, and I got a set of 2 for $40. Long-term plan for these is that I will probably run some stitches along the back to make it look like these curtains are lined, because sometimes they do come apart and you can really see them and it's not the best. But on the whole, adding this little curtain liner has made these curtains look a lot more expensive and still cost a lot less, even though we had to buy 2 pieces. So let me walk you through the process of me installing these blackout liners behind the curtains, because there are a few tips and tricks that I want to share with you. I think that the easiest way to put the liner behind the actual curtains was to remove it from the wall. So I have it laying here on the back of the couch, and I just spread it out so that I could evenly clip the liner to the back of the curtains, just like the rings. I want them to close and have the same amount of slack as the actual curtain on the front. I did successfully get all of these clipped on. One thing to note, this obviously needs one good steaming, because this is super duper thick, and I just don't think that the wrinkles are gonna fall out as easily as they did in like the really sheer curtains. And these actually came with these little tabs that I think that you're supposed to hang them on, or you could use the included silver rings to put these on your actual curtain rod. But because of the way that I have these done, where they're kind of evenly spaced, it didn't really make a lot of sense to put those metal rings. I think it would kind of take away from the look of it. And since those tabs didn't perfectly line up with these, and you would have these additional little tabs just kind of hanging out there, I decided to turn it upside down, and then I put the white lining side on the inside, and I think it's gonna work. So now I'm gonna do the second one over here, and then we'll put it back up to see how it looks hanging. Okay, we think they look pretty good. The left side especially looks nice because I guess I evenly spaced those better. And this side, you can see it's a little wonky wonk right there, but comparing it to the sheer ones, you can tell it really works. And we think that it makes it look a little bit more high end to have it not light filtering, but actually light blocking, which was especially important for this sliding glass door because how it's positioned in our living room, excuse the mess, is right in front of our TV that will one day be mounted. We're just scared of that brick wall. So each set ended up costing us about $80-ish all in, and every single thing comes from Amazon. The curtain rod itself, the curtain rings, the curtain liners, and the curtains themselves. Now, I know this is my house, but personally, I think that they still look really nice. They still look very expensive and tailored without spending, you know, $80 per curtain panel like you see at a lot of popular places like Pottery Barn. So you can still get that high-end look for a lot less. Okay, I want to preface this next section of our room with the fact that it's not done. Now, I am being extremely picky about the artwork that I want to sit over my desk. I want it to come from someplace special, and we just haven't found it yet. So just know that that's missing, but on the whole, the rest of it is finished. Spoiler alert, we painted these white pieces of furniture this really deep green-black color from Sherwin-Williams. One big thing that we noticed about our living room that was bugging us was that everything just seemed to blend together. Nothing was standing out. We didn't have any really bold pieces, and everything was just kind of getting lost in all of the white. And so originally I thought that I wanted to line these pieces of furniture with wallpaper. I thought that if we lined the back of the shelves, it might add a little pop, add a little texture, add a little bit more interest to the room. But after ordering like 6 different samples of wallpaper, nothing felt right. Some of them felt too busy, or some of them felt basically unnoticeable. So we decided that the route that we should go would be to paint these pieces of furniture that we love a deep, bold color just to have a big impact on the room, and we love them. Honestly, I would not recommend for you to do it the way that we did. These are the Havsta bookcases from Ikea, which happen to be one of the few Ikea pieces of furniture that's actually made with real wood. So it made painting this super easy. However, the fact that we did it once the whole thing was already assembled was really difficult. So if you do plan to paint these pieces of furniture that only come in white and a gray color, we recommend doing that right out of the box. Like, don't wait until it's assembled, because this was kind of a headache to move the big pieces of furniture and paint them with everything all together. But the dark color is kind of forgiving, so there we are. So again, we went with the color green black from Sherwin-Williams, which honestly has a lot of blue undertones to it. And since we have natural light that comes from our kitchen and from this back wall over here, you can kind of see that during the day, and it adds a little bit more interest than just a straight black. After we painted these pieces of furniture, we realized that the reason nothing was standing out and everything was falling flat is that even the accent pieces that we had in the cabinets themselves were all kind of a creamy white color. So now those stand out, those look a little bit more interesting, and we're still working to fill these shelves with little mementos from trips and things like that. We don't just want to put a ton of junk in them, but we're very happy with the depth and dimension that it's added to this space. The next project that we took on over here was installing these sconces. Now, these sconces themselves are actually meant to be wired into your walls. They weren't a plug-in sconce, and I toyed around with using those because I thought it would be easier since we didn't want to go through the wiring process, but I didn't know how we were going to hide the wires running down the wall, and it just wasn't my first choice. By happenstance, I happened to be watching one of Lone Fox's videos, and he's this incredible DIY YouTube guy that I love, and he has these exact same sconces, got them from Amazon in his room, and he showed me this little sconce hack. We are in the process of doing the Lone Fox sconce puck light hack. Because my desk is kind of wedged between these 2 pieces of furniture, it doesn't lend itself to a ton of light. So I knew that I wanted lamps of some sort. So when I saw that he did this in his room, I ordered the exact same lights off Amazon and the puck lights that he recommended that are battery operated. Even though it's a sconce that's supposed to hook up to electricity and be wired into your wall, you don't have to use it like that. So we'll show you the final product here. So what we did was basically tuck the wires behind these little round pieces here and just mount them to the wall. And instead of using a wired light bulb, we actually have these little battery operated puck lights that illuminate and look just like a normal wall wired sconce. Now, on the whole, it works fine. Does it give me a ton of light over my desk area like I was hoping? No. So I think that I need to be in the market for some puck lights that are a little bit more powerful, and I want some that are a little bit warmer in tone because these are just a little bit cooler compared to the other lights that we have going on in our living room. But overall, the effect and how it looks on our wall, it looks incredibly expensive and high-end, and like we have them wired in the walls, but they're not. And I love that it's tricky. Now I do kind of wish that I would have gotten these in the gold color now that we've painted these pieces of furniture black, but anyway, I could probably paint these or something if I really wanted to. And if I step to the side, this big open area is also where I hope to put art one day. But in the meantime, I'm just waiting for the right piece, and it doesn't bother me that much, so. And that is everything. Those are all of the new additions and little DIY projects that we've taken on recently. I'll be sure to update you once we get that added art, and maybe once I go through the sewing process of adding the liners to the back of the curtains. Lots of fun things to come, but hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you have questions about anything or are curious about where we got anything else in our living room that wasn't featured today, please let me know. I'll be happy to add links and everything that you need in the description box below. And if you want any more home content, I've done a couple of home favorites videos and some other DIYs. And if you like this video, then like it. Stick around, subscribe, join the community, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.